point.
Chair, I'm really happy to answer this question.
Oh, that's good.
Are you ready for it? Because
Yeah.
it's a really good answer.
Give yourself a pat.
Member for Nanango. Member for Nanango. Premier, we won't engage. We'll have questions and answer, and we'll keep
thank
that
you.
process. That's Member Premier and Member for Nanango.
Look, Member for Nanango, the increase in the budget for the officers, especially ministerial officers, is unfortunately due to something that the former LNP government entered into, and that was the lease for 1 William Street. The office rent for the Brisbane CBD increased by around $165 million in 2015-16 to $222 million for the 2017-18 due to the commencement of the 1 William Street lease. This is an increase of approximately $57 million per annum, or 35%, because we moved out of 5 government-owned buildings into lease space. This is space that we don't own. This is what your former government did. Rent for 1 William Street, this is very important. Rent for 1 William Street will continue to increase by 3.5% each year of the lease, which is 15 years. My government did not enter into that lease. Your government did. So this is the cost we are now paying for your bad decisions.
And we're talking about your budget.
Rent for 1 William Street.
Member for Nanango, I ask that you not cease interjecting. You may not like the answer the Premier is giving to this question about...
Rent for 1 William Street is currently $785 per square metre in 2017-18, signed up under your government. This is $215 per square metre more than the average cost of other CBD leases for government office space, signed up by your former government.
CBUS.
Let me be clear here, at 1 William Street is the previous government's commitment. The LNP government's plans to move more private sector clients into 1 William Street were not commercially viable, as was no market interest in this approach. My government is making the best of the situation we have inherited. The implementation of the CBD accommodation strategy and the regional accommodation strategy support my government's commitment to ensure expenditure is prioritised. But as I say, this lease was signed up to by the former LNP government for 15 years, and we have to see an increase of this lease of 3.5% each and every year because your former government failed to attract private sector interest in renting that space.
Both the Premier and the Member for Nanango, I just counsel people to use correct titles, the Member for Nanango or the Premier, not you, your or she, as was used by both parties in that exchange. It's a way to ensure that we keep this discussion focused on the question at hand. Premier.